How do you turn a 7-story Manhattan townhouse into a secret lair of manipulation, sex trafficking, and power brokering? You turn it into Jeffrey Epstein's house. Because behind those towering brownstone walls on East 71st Street wasn't just a home. It was a freak show of weird art, disturbing memorabilia, and a steady parade of the rich, famous, and just downright shady. For years, Epstein used the $77 million property not just as a hideaway, but as a trophy case, a place to show off his connections to presidents, billionaires, and royalty, all while running one of the most horrific sex trafficking operations in recent history. Thanks to a new report from the New York Times, today, we're diving into what we know about Epstein's infamous Manhattan mansion, who visited, what went on inside, and why even now, years after his death, the secrets of that house are still shaking the political world. The birthday letters that keep exposing everything. In 2016, for Jeffrey Epstein's 63rd birthday, several of his high-profile friends sent him glowing letters. The New York Times recently got their hands on some of them. There was one from former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and his wife, who wrote, "There is no limit to your curiosity. You are like a closed book to many of them, but you know everything about everyone." Director Woody Allen, yes, that Woody Allen, famous absolute freak creep, compared the dinners Epstein hosted to something out of a vampire movie, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place. And Mortimer Zuckerman, media mogul and billionaire, suggested dinner ingredients that would, quote, enhance Jeffrey's sexual performance. Gross! Those letters weren't sent in the 90s, before the world knew who Epstein really was. They were written in 2016, 7 years after Epstein had already served time in Florida for soliciting sex from a minor. The creep factor. Decor straight out of a horror film. So, what was Epstein's townhouse actually like? Disturbing, and then some. Let's start here with the entrance, where there were allegedly dozens of framed prosthetic eyeballs lining the walls. You know, since real eyes realize real lies, I suppose it's good to have fake ones on the wall. In the atrium is a sculpture of a woman in a wedding dress, clutching a noose, hanging from the ceiling. Let's zoom up. That there is a child bride on a noose. Scenario: what would you do if you walked into a party and there were eyes all over the walls and a girl hanging from the ceiling? Hey, I'm not a predator. I just like this child bride hanging from the ceiling. It's just my taste. In the dining room, leopard print chairs, Chinese takeout food, and guests ranging from physicists to magicians. Yes, magicians. Occasionally, one would perform for the group after they had dinner. Watch while I make these files disappear. Upstairs in Epstein's wood panel office, we've got a copy of the book Lolita, nothing to read into there, and this taxidermy tiger. I personally find it really funny how tacky the tiger is. Like, the dude had enough money to buy anything he wanted, and he went with this thing. Look at it. Like, zoom into its face. It looks exhausted, probably from all of the horrors it's witnessed. There was also a chalkboard where guests, including Ehud Barak, would draw out ideas. One preserved sketch was a map of Israel with his signature. Next to that was a framed dollar bill signed by Bill Gates, who wrote, "I was wrong." Yes, you were wrong. Your wife did leave you. In these new photos, you can also clearly see cameras in the room. Oh, wonder where that footage is right now, huh? Magic. Power on the walls. Photos of presidents, popes, and pop stars. Epstein loved to show off who he knew, and the walls of his house made sure you knew it too. There were framed photos of him with Donald and Melania Trump, though Ghislaine Maxwell, who was in the original photo, had been cropped out. Damn, Ghislaine, what did you do? Bill Clinton, casually chatting with Epstein in very relaxed clothes. Pope John Paul II, who Epstein and Maxwell visited in 2003. Elon Musk at a dinner, seated near Tallulah Riley. Mick Jagger, Fidel Castro, Richard Branson, and Mohammed bin Salman. Some of them have since scrambled to explain the photos. Elon Musk told Vanity Fair, "Several years ago, I was at his house in Manhattan for about 30 minutes in the middle of the afternoon with Tallulah. We did not see anything inappropriate at all, apart from weird art. He tried repeatedly to get me to visit the island. I declined. Imagine that your house is so fucked up and weird that Elon Musk was like, nah, this is a bit weird for me. What happened in the massage room? The mansion's third floor was where things get really dark. That's where Epstein kept his bedrooms, and the infamous massage room. Survivors and court records describe what happened in there. Teenage girls, some as young as middle schoolers from Queens, were recruited to give Epstein massages while he was naked. Sometimes he raped them. On the walls, painting of naked women. On the shelves, lubricant. In one corner, a large silver ball and chain. A camera was mounted above Epstein's bed, and many victims have said the entire house had hidden surveillance cameras, possibly used to collect blackmail on his rich and powerful guests. The collector of people. That's what Ehud Barak and his wife called him in their letter. A collector of people. His dinner guests included everyone from Noam Chomsky to Martin Nowak, a Harvard biologist who once sent Epstein a science-themed poem. Joichi Ito, the former head of MIT's Media Lab, also sent a birthday message. He later resigned from both MIT and the board of the New York Times because of his Epstein ties. Even Steve Bannon, living ghoul and former Trump advisor, visited the townhouse in 2019 and filmed hours of interviews with Epstein. The Trump problem. Donald Trump has always tried to downplay his connection to Epstein. He's claimed he broke off the friendship long before Epstein's crimes were public. But court filings and birthday albums tell a different story, Donald. The Wall Street Journal reported that Trump contributed a bawdy note and drawing to Epstein's 50th birthday book in 2023. Trump has obviously denied, and sued everyone who's involved. Meanwhile, Trump's own base, the conspiracy-driven corner of MAGA, has fixated on the so-called Epstein files. They believe Epstein's records contain proof of widespread elite corruption. But after years of promising to release those files, the Trump administration backtracked. I wonder why. In July, the Justice Department said Epstein never kept a client list and they wouldn't release any more files. Don't worry. In response, the DOJ sent Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Soon after, Maxwell was quietly transferred to a minimum security prison, fueling speculation that Trump could commute her sentence or offer her a pardon in exchange for information. So, what was Epstein really doing in that house? Was he just a sick man with too much money? Or was he something else? A blackmailer, a manipulator, a man who collected leverage of the powerful to protect himself? We may never fully know, but here's some things we do know. He was surrounded by influential people who knew about his past. He continued to operate freely for years after his first conviction. He kept photos, memorabilia, and framed evidence of his power right there on the walls next to all the weird eyeballs. This wasn't just a rich guy's mansion. It was a shrine, a vault of secrets, and maybe a trap. If you want more stories like this, if you think billionaires are weird freaks, or you're just locked into this Epstein stuff, make sure you subscribe because I've been on a real roll and I've got no plans on stopping now. There are so many Epstein videos available for you. I've looked into everything at this point. Bye!